So today we look at the subject of negative NDEs. Now, these are also known as distressing near-death experiences, as hellish NDEs and fear-based NDEs, or there's even known as adverse NDEs. Now, experiencing an NDE isn't nice, and they are known to make people feel fear, panic, and even terror. They are also make people feel if there's like a darkness or a void type feeling too. And it's almost like a torment as well with threatening entities and or environments, overwhelming fear of or feeling of guilt and shame, and also dread as well. Now, there are actually three main types of negative NDEs. Now, there's inverse or hellish, which involves like a hostile or sort of frightening environments. Then there's, of course, affective, which is emotional terror, which is these, it's more like a specific imagery, no specific imagery, just instead of lyric, just a feeling of isolation and panic. And then there is judgment, which is, about self-control or confrontation, and NDEs that are also quite painful, a life review as well, like of guilt or moral issues. Now, common themes for negative NDEs are darkness or voids. There's emotional overwhelm, sometimes chaotic sounds like screams or roaring or buzzing, hostile landscapes, threatening beings, intense self-judgment, and a sense of being trapped or unable to return. So why do people actually experience negative NDEs? There's three possible angles. We've got psychological, where people are very stressed and will interpret any kind of situation in more fear. There's neurological, where someone might have low oxygen levels, where they're in a state of panic. That could also make an impact. And then there's the possibility of the parapsychological, where they might be sort of like a hidden sort of negative weakness coming out to the surface, like dealing with greed or envy or some type of aggression as well. So some people do experience a positive effect when having had experienced a negative NDE. And that can be things like someone feeling more open to being empathetic or kinder to people in their lives and looking at the really positive things in their world. And of course, as you can imagine, there's also negative effects that can happen with someone who's experienced this, like maybe the fear of falling asleep or possible PTSD from that. So lots of people don't feel safe reporting a negative NDE. So there is a decent chance there are a number of people experiencing this that could be a lot higher than what has been reported or researched so far. Negative NDEs can lead to more research into how the mind works in extreme emotional states. So if you are looking at taking on a negative NDE case, be aware that that individual is emotionally fragile. And if you are obviously making notes about their experiences, do so from your subjective and your objective perspectives. Thanks for watching.